The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign, trusted by over 500 NFL players for their winning smiles, and broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now your host, Nicole Hutchison.
Good morning, Cowboys Nation. Welcome into Girls Talk, Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign in the SWBC studio. I'm Nicole Hutchison, alongside Brianna Aldridge, Kristi Scales, Aisha Morrison. Ladies, good morning.
Good morning.
Wake up!
Yeah. Look,
You did a little sunshine.
she did. She's trying to.
I'm doing new things for you.
She's
because
trying to. So you can
Appreciate
be
that.
You're welcome.
Yesterday, Kristi, I requested that, I need more energy, right? So I was like, they were like, do y'all want me to jump on the table? And I was like, please do it.
Yeah. And then she also requested that we do cartwheels.
I did.
Off camera. So
I did.
That's what we're working with, Kristi.
Absolutely. I think it's a pretty great problem to have if you're asking me. But good morning. It's time to talk Cowboys, Broncos, because we're now 3 days.
We do
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 3 days away from kickoff, 3:25 kickoff. But this is now we're sticking with offense. I know we dove into the defense yesterday. Cowboys offense. They're 1-3 on the road this season. Again, we've mentioned it before. They have not won in Denver in a very, very, very long time. So they're looking for their first win in decades there. Kristi, I'll start with you. What are you looking for out of this offense, and can they sustain in Denver against this Broncos defense?
Well, the pass protection, it's going to be tested more. I know you've been talking about it all week, and ad nauseum, we've heard from the players and the head coach about how they, the Broncos, that is, are number one in sacks in the league. And there's some Benito, what he does, and Allen. This is a really fine group.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not to mention the, having Surtain back there. But I just wonder if this is one of these games where, with Dak Prescott, where we see a little more of a short and intermediate game with passing game, just in terms of, getting rid of the ball more quickly, right, with that pass rush. But it's also one of these games where Javonte Williams, and obviously he'll be motivated going back to the place where he started his career. But, man, you really need the run game that you had against Washington and not the game the week earlier against Carolina, because you're going to need to run the ball here and not fall behind the sticks and put yourself in long down and distance with that kind of pass rush coming at you.
Aisha, what you got?
I know we're going to get into the matchup a little bit more, but I don't know if I would be I definitely think that Dallas should run the ball. Actually, when you look at the Broncos defense, they have given up some red zone touchdowns to somewhere where they're like middle of the pack. But also, too, I know that Dallas, you're going up against this secondary that can really play, but that might be that to me might be where you see more opportunity than in the run game.
Mm-hmm. To take some shots.
Oh, absolutely. Then in the run game, this defensive line is one of the best against the run. I think you can see some success attacking their linebackers and trying to throw the ball downfield against these corners. And granted, we're going to get into it, but
how about some screens?
Yeah.
Take advantage of them pinning their ears back and coming after Dak.
Absolutely.
And dunk it right over their heads. A little run after catch.
Yeah, what you got, Mom?
This is going to be the number one offense against one of the top defenses. This is going to be arguably the toughest matchup that the Cowboys have seen. And I know starting off the season, Philly, we know what that defense is. But now we're going into week 8. Now everyone's kind of getting their feet wet, if you will, and seeing the adjustments. We saw the biggest adjustments from defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus last week, so hoping they can add to what we saw, because it's very uplifting, if you will, seeing complimentary football played, as we keep talking about a Dak Prescott who's playing with his hair on fire, his best time of his career, if you will. So I'm looking forward to seeing what these two teams go against each other. It's going to tell us a lot about what the Cowboys have on their side, I think.
And beyond that, depending on the outcome of this, does it inform the decisions on what you're going to do before the trade deadline?
Well, yeah, because if you win this game, you need to. I definitely feel like this is I know that the Broncos, even listening to some of their people, this is a litmus test for them. Like both teams are coming into this game saying, "You're weak here, I'm strong here," vice versa. This is a huge game for confidence and kind of looking at like week 8, week 7 in this area where it's like, what are we? Mm-hmm. Who are we? And I do think after this, we will know like. This offense, is it that good? We finding out against a defense like this. Mm-hmm. And then also, too, with an offense that's about middle of the pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have some players, but they're about middle of the pack in how they operate. Can this Dallas defense repeat some of what they did last week and let you know, is this something we can consistently rely on, you know?
Yeah, we know Jerry Jones wants to hold on to those picks as hard as he can because that's the way, typically they do business. And when we heard from him last game, it really sounded like he was convinced after what he saw. Unlike others who were like, let's see how this was like. He sounded like he was convinced. And I will say just how, again, the front office is typically ran, into Kristi's point, I think it's going to be this game. And then when you face the Cardinals, you're in the bye week. Okay, where are we really at with this team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the deadline's the day after the Cardinals game. That's a Monday night game,
you hear me?
Right? Yeah.
Time is moving.
It is.
Very fast.
Please don't.
This is stressing me. And then it's the bye week.
Don't joke me out.
Oh, my God. I don't like it.
Crazy.
Cowboys offense, I know I want to dive in deeper into with Aisha's insights in the second segment, but just real fast, I mean, do y'all think that we could see a little bit more tempo? Because we've seen that over the course of the last couple of weeks from this offense to kind of keep defenses honest. Which
Interesting. I mean, with a defense like this, now I will say, like I said, we're going to get into it more, but they are a defense that will throw some different looks at you from in the front. They have a lot of simulated pressures and stuff like that. What I mean by that is that they'll show one thing and then they'll change it. They'll change it at the right at the snap and what they're showing. They're gonna play a lot of man, all that stuff. So I do think like Dallas will need to get information, but I do think like the motions and stuff are going to be important in this game because if you just try to play these guys straight up, I don't know about that.
Okay. Got it. We're going to take our first break here. Dive deeper into this film. Aisha's insight. Wow.
Boom, 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 boom.
Aisha's insights is coming up right after the break. We'll be right back.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for us. If the men in your life bleed blue and silver like we do, I've found the perfect way to elevate their game day rituals. Gillette just released their best razor in Cowboys colors, and it is everything a Cowboys fan could want. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor combines his Cowboys pride with Gillette's best shave. And with 50% longer lasting blades, it is truly the gift that keeps on giving. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's best shave is also available as heated.
Cowboys Nation, head to Miller Lighthouse at AT&T Stadium for a free watch party presented by 7-Eleven. Watch the Dallas Cowboys face off against the Broncos in Denver on Sunday, October 26th. Doors open at 2 p.m. and kickoff is at 3:25. Enjoy a performance by the DCC, Slurpee samples, $5 Miller Lights, and more. Claim your free ticket at dallascowboys.com/watchparty.
Go ahead and claim your tickets. It should be a fun watch party to go to. Have y'all ever been? Wow, that was dumb. Sorry. Welcome back into Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign at the SWBC studio. Nicole Hutchison, Brianna Aldridge, Kristi Scales, and Aisha Morrison. It's time for some Aisha's Insights. What you got, Cowboys, Broncos? Aisha, take it away.
Barnacles. Well, this is obviously we know this Denver defense is no joke. It's serious. Led by Vance Joseph. He and Vic Fangio's systems are very similar in how they decide to play football. Like I talked about before, this is a defense that is very confident in their secondary's ability to play man, so you're going to see a lot of man coverage in this game. Also, too, with the defensive front, as I mentioned before, some simulated pressures. They're going to do some zone blitzes. I've actually seen an uptick in their blitz rate in this last few weeks, specifically from the safety Hufanga, who we know ain't no joke. He's been able to get after it a little bit more as of late, but also as well. When you look at them, they also will blitz they'll run stunts with their linebackers and their edges. Their interior is very strong. They get penetration, but they're really there to take up space so the rest of these guys, their edges, their linebackers can get after it and pressure the quarterback. So when you get into the statistics, this is a defense that is only surrendering 18.1 points per game. Last week they surrendered 32. That was kind of out the norm for them. People a little concerned about that. With the yards per game, it's 273.1. That is third in the NFL. Now, parallel to that the Cowboys are averaging about 391 yards per game. So that's kind of one of those give-take things that we're looking at as well. They average 179.9 They are sixth in the NFL against the pass with 179.9 yards per game, and against the rush, they are ninth with allowing 93.3 yards per game. So we are looking for Javonte Williams to kind of get after it. I know that Kristi mentioned some of the stuff that she wants to see from them. This defensive line leads the league in sacks with 34. They are number one in pressure rate. They are number one in sack rate. They can really get after it. As far as the blitz, they're fourth in the NFL. They had 20 pressures last week on 37 snaps. That is the second most by any team in the NFL. Their secondary is steady. They're not going to give up much on the back end. However, we will get into there are places to attack in this secondary outside of Pat Surtain because he's that guy. When you get into the lineup, you got Nick Bonito. He has 8 sacks on the year. The way that he and Jonathan Cooper, who also has 6 sacks on the year, can get off the line of scrimmage, they are so explosive. Jonathan Cooper, in particular, the way that he can come from depth and really affect the passer is something to. I'm stressed out about the Cowboys' tackles a little bit. Terrence Steele and Tyler Guyton are going to have their hands full. When you look at their interior, as I said before, these are mostly guys, Zach Allen, Jonathan Franklin Myers, that are going to just clog up the front. Can they administer pressure? Absolutely, but they are more there to really let those other guys kind of navigate as well. Dallas is 28.7% against the blitz, which is 16th in the NFL. I wonder if they are going to come out and try to blitz a little bit more, try to get Dak off his, because they understand that their secondary is good, but they also understand you cannot let a quarterback like Dak Prescott sit back there and do what he wants back there. When you talk about their linebackers, Justin Strnad, yes, that's how you pronounce his name. He has 11 pressures on the year. They'll blitz him from the linebacker position. Jonathan Ellis is also someone that they will bring on the edge to blitz. So Dallas's communication, again, you're going on the road, playing a Denver team, it get loud up there. They really, though, that fan base comes out. Dallas, I wonder if, as we talked to Shadi, Are they going to be on some silent counts? How's the communication going to be? What are they going to be working on going into this game, especially dealing with how much they will blitz off the edge? Like I said, with Hufanga, like the safety, he is blitzing. He's had 9 blitzes over the last 3 weeks, and they've been pretty successful doing that with him as well. Now, where I will say, when you talk about the Denver defense, you got to talk about Pat Surtain. Lockdown corner. Honestly, his coverage grade is so low because people just don't throw to him. You know what they do? They go to the other side, Riley Moss. And people, it's sad because Riley Moss is kind of getting a bad rep, but it's really just like, hey man, they not throwing over there. They don't want to throw over there. And so, but his completion percentage is actually pretty low. Like it's not like he's just rendering a whole bunch. He's just getting attacked a lot more. I do see Dallas attacking Riley Moss. Okay. They're going to attack Riley Moss. I also see them maybe trying to attack McMillan, their slot corner, when they are in these nickel packages. I only say that because when you go look last week, Wando Robinson didn't just cook Dallas when he was here. He also really took it to the Denver slot corners last week. I wonder if we see someone like a Kavontae Turpin get a little bit more burn in that slot, or if they decide to use CeeDee Lamb in the slot
and Pickens. Pickens. I mean,
and Pickens
that's
as
physical
well.
mismatch.
Yes, and Pickens as well. Also, too, when you start getting into their linebackers are not the strongest in coverage. Greenlaw being out is huge for them. He's really like their general, but Alex Singleton has allowed 363 yards this season, really mostly rendering them to tight ends as well. So I wonder how Dallas is going to, you really don't want to touch their secondary a whole bunch. I know that Dallas is still going to take their shots and stuff, how they work kind of this intermediate part of the field, because this is probably one of the only weak points on this defense. And I don't even know if you could say it's a weak point. I don't even know if you could say it's a weak point. Yeah. It is just where they're not as strong as other places in the NFL. They did have some blown coverages with the tight ends last week from the Giants. I wonder if Dallas tries to exploit that a little bit again with with Jake Ferguson and some of the tight end play. Another thing that I wanted to mention is I wonder how they're going to attack this. If Denver is going to have Pat Surtain follow one of the Dallas receivers, or if they're just going to be like, hey, Pat, you play field side, Riley, you play boundary. That is something to keep an eye out on. And if that happens, then it's going to be up to Dallas to win with the other guys or still go at these guys, depending on. I understand that Pat Surtain is a guy, but the thing is, when you start looking at the film, he's not being tested. Yeah. People are just not even trying to touch there. Now, it will be bold of Dallas if they feel like they got the guys.
Why not?
But, I mean, why not? Let's see what happens. But really, when you, like I said, when you get into this game and you start looking at where this team thrives at, it really is. It starts up front with that defensive line, getting the amount of pressure they can get, and that secondary just playing sound, which is what they normally do. What is Dallas going to do? Running on them? I do think you could see some success, like Kristi said, in some of the screen game, trying to get their linebackers out in space, maybe setting up some convoys and things like that. And Kristi mentioned some of the intermediate game, just trying to go quick game with these guys and then maybe hitting them in the mouth then. But I would be really looking to try to see if the pass can open up the run in certain areas, because these guys will load the box. These guys will rely on that defensive front to stop the run at a high clip. Now, they are 17th in the league when it comes to red zone touchdowns rendered by running backs. So maybe it's
just got to get it close enough.
Yeah, that's what I say. So maybe it's not pretty.
Good point.
Yeah, maybe it's not pretty, getting down there. But if Dallas can punch it in with the run game, that would be huge. But yes, this Denver defense is by far, to me, the best one you're going to see, the most complete you're going to see all season.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think this is probably, so far, the one that the Cowboys have seen that has been the best defense so far. But when you're talking about what the Cowboys can do, I mean, you're facing a top run defense, top passing defense, top blitzing defense.
Talk about it.
I mean, who will this game come down to? Because will it come down to being creative with the play calling, or just flat out execution? What do you think? both, obviously.
What you got?
Communication, and not just what Aisha is saying about it being a loud crowd, because you get that Rocky Mountain Thunder going with that crowd. Believe me, at Mile High, it is really loud there, even though it's an outdoor stadium. But by communication, I mean the hot reads. Right? And especially when they're blitzing and sending people. Blitzing is great for a defense, but it exposes you to big plays, because if you're taking someone out of coverage and sending them to the backfield, it leaves an open space. Now, the zone blitzes is a thing where I send, let's say, a linebacker, and I drop one of my defensive linemen back into the area that's vacated. Try and mess with the quarterback in that way. He thinks, oh, there's an open space, I'm going to dump it off. Surprise, there's a defender there. But Dak's been around long enough that he'll know that. But it's these things with when you got to get rid of the ball quickly, when you know a blitz is coming, and the little hand signals, the little eye contact with the receivers, everyone being on the same page to be ready for the hot read. But the one thing is, this is a game that I think it's going to be yards after the catch. Right, that's where I think the big play is going to come. Especially you get man on man, one-on-one. You're able to shake that defender, and you can get a lot of yards after catch.
These guys have dudes at every level. At this point. There's not, you can't, even the Patrick Surtain, you can't go one way and avoid another, because teams have, to your point, have been doing that. And Riley Moss has really been, like you said, the completion rate is one of the lowest.
Yeah.
Out of all corners. I think
even
that says
though he's
a lot.
Being targeted.
The weak side, right? Typically every week we go in, they have a strong corner, you just target. That's not going to be the case. And I think it is going to come down to play calling. Brian Schottenheimer said it yesterday. He said a lot of praise and the work that he's in with Sean Payton, but he's like, I'm looking forward to the matchup against Vance Joseph, who I believe is one of the best defensive coaches in the league. So in his second year, obviously he's totally transformed what Denver's have been able to do. I do remember watching Denver, what was that, 2 seasons ago, when Miami came in there and put up historic 70 points.
Please.
This is the same defense. And they just went after it. They stole some guys from the Niners. So a little flashback there for the Cowboys. But this is going to be a great matchup, and I wanted to touch on the fact that, yes, they're leading the league in sacks, and they don't have a ton of takeaways, and I think that tells you the story right there, because people don't want to throw a ball against this team, or they can't. They can't get rid of the football. But when I look at it, we got number 4 on this side.
You hear me?
He's getting rid of that thing quick. So when I look at that, to your point, play calling is going to be it. And I like the joke. I don't know if you guys heard it yesterday from Schottenheimer talking about Dak was looking at me like, really, dude? Just because he was taking so many hits, because Shotty gets into it and he wants to throw that thing. So
I like that, though.
Go ahead.
Like, you talked about Vance Joseph, like Shotty talking about being excited about that matchup. That's one thing I like about Brian Schottenheimer, is that he takes play calling as the competition. He likes to compete. He wants to, go back and forth with this. And I agree with you. I think this is going to be, the clipboard warriors is going to have to come out. They're going to have to come out in this game, because again, this is a defense. Now, I will say, the Denver defense being a mostly man defense is a dope thing. It's great that they have the ability to do that. However, because they're not one of those defenses on the back end that's about to show and go, change up, disguise a whole bunch, I do think that might play into Dallas's favor, is that the fact that they will play you straight up on that end, then you have enough tape to say, okay, well, how do we plan against that? I don't know if they're going to throw any monkey wrenches in there that's different. They believe in their guys' ability and they're confident in them. And so I do think that Dallas will be able to find a way to scheme. I hope that Shotty is able to find a way to scheme some of these guys open, or they're just going to have to be better than the man in front of them. And this Dallas interior better come to play too.
And to be fair, I don't think they've seen a receiving core that's playing the way that CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens are playing right now. They're 6th and 7th in the NFL in yards per game. And I look back to when the Broncos played the Eagles. Of course, you had Devontae Smith that they gave up 114 receiving yards on 8 targets, but the rest of those guys held to under 43. That was the max. I'm sorry, 58. But granted, the Eagles are a little different because they were still figuring out how to utilize both of their weapons. But at the end of the day, nobody's playing the way that CeeDee Lamb and GP are playing. How big will those guys be in this matchup?
Phew. They're gonna make all the difference.
They are the match.
And I can tell you facts, and I can tell you, keep my ears low to the ground, being a little nosy. In Denver land, they worried too. Despite the fact, they are looking at Dak Prescott as the best quarterback they've seen all year.
Yeah.
They're looking at this receiver core as the best receiver core they have seen all year. So they're kind of in the same way we are. We're like, what's going to happen? They like, we don't know either, So I to the offensive line, man, I wish Cooper Beebe was playing this game.
Yeah.
Because one thing about that DJ Jones, Brock Hoffman better come to Rumble.
BB's not ruled out, if I'm not mistaken.
He's not ruled out. But
at least that's what he said in his locker at whatever time ago.
yeah. He's. I don't think he's ready.
Did
to
he
go
lie to us,
yet.
Kristi?
No. I mean,
Just player talk. They're just happy.
Yeah.
Happy
He's
to be
just
back.
happy. He just happy to be back.
Yeah, because
But-
I think he said this week, if not next week, for sure.
Yeah, this would be a huge game
next
for him to be back because of the Broncos' interior push. Like I said, starts up front with that DJ Jones, Brock Hoffman better tighten up that chin strap.
Yeah, this is big boy pants.
It is, and I can expect to see Brock doing some, smack talking as well, because this is really where it starts for them. I mean, DJ Jones to me is the big reason why their run game is the way that it is, because he can hold those double teams and those linebackers will come up, but he also can penetrate off the line as well. So this Dallas interior and these tackles.
Oh, yeah.
Better.
tackles is-
Man, the tackles are where I'm the most worried. And I also, too, we talked about it. I'm nervous about the tight ends having to be there chipping
in.
and being taken away as
Exactly.
receiving options. Dallas has to figure out a way. Maybe it's the quick game like you ladies were talking about, to keep the tight ends involved in the receiving game and not just have it come down to just being 3 receivers running routes. Like this is a defense that will take away your tight ends or your running backs because they have to help block.
And I want to say this lightly.
I'm fussing, sorry.
No, you're fine. I want to say this lightly. And heading into this matchup, who is, I'll say, biggest concern on the offensive line individually? Who would be the weakest point on the Cowboys' offensive line? You said the tackles.
The weakest.
Who specifically?
I would.
I feel like Guyton has the tougher task, in my opinion.
You think so?
I think it's going to be Guyton. I mean, I know Guyton is, again, trending upwards, but
Benito ain't no joke.
Yeah. And
Hello?
do they flip them at all?
Sometimes it's not a
not a lot.
Not
They
a
just
lot.
do.
What they will do, you see it with some of the stunts.
Yeah.
They will try to find some matchups, but for the most part, Benito and Cooper are going to play their
straight up.
sides. Yes, but I still like. I would go with Tyler Guyton, but I do know that a matchup like Cooper is hard for a guy like Terrence Steele, dealing with that speed and the way that he pops off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and you mentioned Sternad earlier. Now, he's the interior, one of the inside linebackers.
Yes, ma'am.
And he leads all NFL inside linebackers in sacks. So, it's coming from all directions.
Everywhere.
Outside, inside, upside down.
What you got, Bree?
girl, that's what I
Oh,
Why she has to be the same question?
I'm screaming. We're gonna take our second break here on Girls Talk Boys Talk, presented by Invisalign.
I used to want to be the host.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
When you're on the field, you know what it takes to lead your team and play with confidence. But that confidence shouldn't just stop at game time. It should follow you off the field, too. Join over 500 NFL players who trust Invisalign, the #1 doctor-recommended clear aligner brand. Ready to take the first step towards a smile you'll love? Visit Invisalign.com/NFL and find a doctor near you today. Transform your smile and take your confidence to the next level, both on the field and off.
How does the cheerleader's hair always look so perfect? We asked, and they shared one of their biggest beauty secrets. If you want hair like theirs and confidence to match, use Babyliss Pro styling tools. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders use Babyliss Pro curling irons to get those perfect game day curls. To get the hair you see on the cheerleaders, head to BabylissPro.com. Use the code Cowboys20 for 20% off Babyliss Pro tools, the official styling tools of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Get the discount while it lasts. Offer may be withdrawn at any time at advertiser's discretion.
The countdown to game day starts with Rally Days, presented by SeatGeek. Enjoy performances from Cat Hasty and other local artists behind the scenes. Look at AT&T Stadium. Meet the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and alumni and more. Get your tickets for the next Rally Day on November 2nd at AT&TStadium.com/rallydays.
Countdown to game day. Wow, am I okay today?
You're fine. It's okay.
Cowboys, Broncos, week 8. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Chess match for sure. But we've got the countdown to Receipts with Bree in 5, 4,
I got a countdown?
3. I don't know. I just feel
That's
like being
exciting.
extra. 3, 2.
I love that for me.
Take it away. What you got?
Let's start with the revenge game that we kind of mentioned in that first block there with, of course, Javonte Williams returning to Denver for the first time since signing with the Cowboys, somewhere he spent 4 years with, somewhere that drafted him. He had very high expectations, and you can argue, did he reach them or not? There was a course of injury that he's still being asked about, believe it or not, here about how he's been able to make that jump. But Schottenheimer said, hey, basically, they didn't want to keep him, but I saw something in him, and I think his response is worth listening to.
I mean, just the suddenness, the ability to jump cut, the way he would run through contact, yards after contact, to me is a big thing for running backs. I like big backs, I really do. I think it's that type of league right now. I caught it. Yeah. I actually started to sing the rap song. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, yes, sir. Sir Mix-a-Lot. I like big backs. No, some people just got it. Some people just got it in the back. Yeah. Leave it to my man right there. Yeah, it's going to be hard to follow up with. Yeah. You get 2 questions.
Yeah, I actually chuckled in the first
I loved it. I was one of the late ones. I'm not going to lie. I was one of the late ones. I didn't hear this. I was like, what? And then when he said,
I'm disappointed in you.
That was the first thing that went in my mind. I can't deny.
Kristi tried to jump in.
That's funny.
Somebody was back there wheezing.
Listen, I love his energy every day. But I mean, how many times do we sit in there, ladies, and they ask about what Javonte Williams is to this team?
Every day.
Me and Nicole look at each other like, but that's what he's bringing to this team. And I know we want to see them throw the ball in open space this week, but Javonte Williams has been a key to this offense since the beginning. One fluke so far when they had 31 yards rushing as a team. I don't know what was going on in that game, but Javonte Williams played it very cool, so we'll hear from him in a bit. But I kind of want to jump a little bit to who I was very happy to talk to, and if he doesn't make you smile when he talking about DeMarvion Overshown, he said, Vegas, that's his target to be back on the field. And he just seems so much lighter. I remember hearing from him after the first injury, and he had a little doomsy, dark days he was going through. But, guys, he sounds so much lighter. He's so excited, and he's ready to show the people that he's ready to be back.
That game, I mean, that's what we looking like. But, yeah. That
Monday night prime time.
Monday night prime time. Zero be making his debut, and I'm excited for it. It's not going to be anything short of extraordinary. Like I say, I'm ready to show, truly, how blessed I am. And a lot of people, claim that this knee injury is one of the worst of the worst, and not too many people come back the same afterwards. So I'm ready to put that to the test.
him with that brace on, but he said it's just an accessory, honey. It's not a necessity.
And we know we know he liked to accessorize.
Oh my goodness.
Getting Demo back for sure. I know they said that they're gonna be cautious, of course, about ramping him up, but he did say that like for the past 4 months, like I've been feeling good, like I feel stronger. He said his explosiveness is a lot better, but I mean he is definitely gonna be. I don't know if he's gonna be what's it called, Batman, but certainly gonna be a huge help for this linebacker core that has made improvements over the last week, but certainly that needs some help. What else you got?
And I think what stood out to me is he's not trying to prove anything to anybody, like straight up. He is trying to just get back to who he is. Like you said, he feels better than before the injury is what he's saying. And he hears what everybody's saying about that's a hard injury to come back from. He don't care. And I expect to see the best out of Agent Zero. He's got his new number. All right, he's going to be flashy. And another player who is not really trying to prove anything to anybody else, we got to hear from because he is so poised. But I feel like he's gonna eat this week going back to Denver.
I feel like it was kind of just mutual. They wanted to go a different route. I mean, it was just a good atmosphere. I love the team. I love the staff, the coaches. I had a good time. It probably didn't go the way I wanted it to go, but I mean, I'm here now, so I'm with the Cowboys.
Do they need to buckle up?
What do you cheer?
Bruh. To be the second leading rusher in the NFL, like he's just so like humble.
I know. I love his demeanor.
Everything. He's so
great.
chill. You got to buckle up, he said.
He really probably wants to say yeah.
No answer is needed. So I love having him in the locker room. He's so like quiet, but he don't have to say much.
Yeah,
saying it on the field. So
and we can't forget about the way that the impact outside of just running the football. He's been an impact as well in the receiving game as well. Blocking game, heck of a blocker. I mean, Javonte Williams, obviously one of the top offseason pickups for the Cowboys, of course, outside of George Pickens as well. Can't forget about him. But no, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit, but just how much will this game come down to Javonte Williams as well? We've talked about GP and CeeDee Lamb, but what about Williams?
Yeah, absolutely. I still think you have to be effective enough in the run game to keep that defense honest, right? And so, and what I appreciated about Javonte yesterday, the start of his press conference, obviously that was the first thing he was asked about, of, this being a revenge game. And he's like, it's another championship opportunity, repeating what Schottenheimer says regarding every game. So, you love the attitude. But, hey, what he did there with a phenomenal rookie season, suffering the devastating knee injury the next year, then playing 2 more years and not getting back to the former or getting really the chances and carries last year. And so, it means something to him. It absolutely does. So I can't wait. I can't wait. It's
gonna be a heavyweight match. You're gonna need him in pass protection.
Mm-hmm.
He's been awesome there this year. I think Hunter Lipke is another gentleman that's gonna be important in pass protection, picking up some of those blitzes. When you looked at the game last week, Tyron Tracy had a couple explosive runs. Scattaboo some of his runs came on the edge, and I did hear, some of the Denver guys talking about the fact that they were surprised at how quickly he was able to take the edge. This is a Denver defense that does not give up the edge much, but they can. It's happened. It can happen. Also, too, I do think, going back to them playing a lot of man, Dak Prescott and his legs might be seen a little bit more in this game. Now, this is a Denver defense that likes to hit. However, if they're going to be aggressive, if they're going to blitz, if they're going to do all this stuff, if they're going to, bring their linebackers from depth, I think that Dak's legs and Javonte might have to marry in this game, and it might open up things for each other in this game.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be Jaden Daniels running for 30 yards downfield. It just needs to be enough, like 7-9 yards, and get down.
And that's what Jackson Dart did to them. When they got upfield, again, this is an aggressive defense. When they got upfield, when those linebackers gave up some spacing, then he made them pay on the ground. But also, too, the running backs, again, they use the aggressiveness against them. I also want to see if Dallas is going to use Javonte as a receiver a little bit more in this game against some of these linebackers. Right behind that defensive line that's getting pressure. Attack those linebackers, maybe even with a guy like Javonte, who we know can do some things in the receiving.
What about Jaden Blue?
I want to see.
I don't know.
Like I want to, but
I don't know if I
trust him. Like
if we've seen enough to know that he's gonna recognize everything and pick it up.
That's what
that's not casting shade on anybody.
Yeah.
That's just he hasn't played a lot.
Yeah. That's the part I'm worried about, is the awareness from him with all of the blitzing.
That's what
and all
I'm talking
those
about.
things.
The communication is so important.
I wish we could see him, because I think his speed could help.
Me too.
It could help, like we saw if we got
or
some
send
of
him on a wheel route.
Yeah.
Out of the backfield.
You are trying to attack the second level.
Shotty gonna put that visor backwards.
Pins. Talk about it, girl.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
2 pins is crazy.
I'm gonna need 2 pins.
You hear me? Come on, clipboard warriors.
Talk about sorry, I lost my train of thought. Ultimate X Factor. Who you got?
Oh no, who? On the offense?
Offense.
On the
Cowboys
offense,
offense.
the ultimate X Factor.
I'm going to go with Turpin.
Ooh wee, okay, Kristi.
Yeah, I do. I just think that kind of matchup, what you were talking about before, Aisha, when you were breaking down their defense and in the slot. And it doesn't have to be Turpin, but I just see that position there. But what a blessing, what versatility when you can have your choice. You're Brian Schottenheimer, and you can have your choice of CD, Pickens, or Turp in the slot. Interchangeable, basically, right? And trying to create those kinds of matchups. But then I think that special teams is going to be really huge this game. And so that's why I'm saying Turp, because, when we think of special teams, you're thinking, ooh, Brandon Aubrey in that high altitude, send him out there to try a 70-yarder. But where I see special teams so crucial here is flipping the field.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Flipping the field. I did talk with Kavontae yesterday, because one of the things with the high altitude, again, we think about it with field goals, punting, that ball really, really, really carries. So it's difficult as a punt returner if you're not used to it, right? So I asked Kavontae if he had had any experience. I know he hadn't played at the Broncos with the Cowboys, but because we only play there once every 8 years. But has he had other experience in high altitude games? And he said no, but he thinks that he'll get a feel for it in pregame warmups. But I think once you get out to, he's like, you're going to have to do extra early with the warm-up? No, I'll get out. It's like, but it's going to make it's going to be very important to get that gauge.
No joke. And Javonte Williams yesterday, they were like, you've played in it, like, what can you tell your teammates? And he's like, it's going to be pretty tough those first 2 quarters, and it gets easier. I said, first 2 quarters? I don't got time for the first 2 quarters to get used to it. But it's people, if you haven't played in it.
It's a real thing. I did a event here at the Star Tuesday night for our friends, our partners at Nationwide, and it was with DeMarcus Ware, who Hall of Famer and Ring of Honor member for the Cowboys, but he's the one that hoisted the Super Bowl trophy as a Bronco. So he has experience going in as a visiting player, and he has experience the home field advantage. It is a real thing, according to DeMarcus. And what they would do, when he was there, and I haven't seen Sean Payton really do it this year, but up-tempo, get up on the ball, and not necessarily snap it quickly, but don't allow the defensive linemen to come in and rotate, right? And you get these long drives, and these guys can't get off the field, especially these big linemen. You could gas them.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it's hard for those guys. And think about how much of a rotation that the Cowboys use along the defensive line. So there's a lot of strategy involved in things like that. And DeMarcus, to the point, what Javonte said about the first half, he's like, oh yeah, it's the beginning of the game especially where you're really, really feeling it.
It's like the what they say at Texas A&M, the 12th man. It's like they're playing the defense.
Didn't they used to say that in Denver?
Right?
Or was that not?
That's Seattle.
That's Seattle.
Seattle trademark.
Like,
Thank you for the fees, Seattle.
Turpin.
We threatened a lawsuit. I'm an Aggie. I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay.
Threatened lawsuit, and anyway, they pay.
Kristi said, and another thing.
What they have is Rocky Mountain Thunder. So the original Mile High Stadium, the upper deck, instead of concrete, it was metal. And so when they would stamp their feet,
Interesting.
you'd get that metal, really, really, really loud. So guess what they did when they built the new one? Guess what they got up there? So it feels like, feel it up there, and then just the sound. It's so loud. That's why they call it Rocky Mountain Thunder.
Who's yours?
And I know the back. I'm gonna go with Pickens.
Interesting, yeah, because he's gonna be on Riley probably.
That's exactly why I'm going with Pickens. I mean, you would think that CeeDee Lamb's going to be going against Patrick Surtain for obvious reasons, and I feel like it's going to be a lot of 50-50 balls happening on the other side for Pickens, and I like Pickens with the 50-50 ball.
Talk about it.
So I'm going with Mr. Pickens. I think he's going to have a big game.
What about you, Nicole?
I was going to go with Pickens, but I'll go with – it's okay. I'll switch it. I'll go with –
double down on Pickens.
That's fine. No, I'll be different.
She's sad.
I'm going to go with a tight end. Extra protection. I might go with a little bit more of Brevin Spanford in the blocking game.
Nice one.
Yeah, I like Jake Ferguson out in space a little bit better, but obviously you guys, Aisha making a good point about the tackle struggling. I like Brevin Spanford. I did not like that Luke Schoonmaker play where you had to go up against the Washington Commanders. Who was it? I'm drawing a blank. It's fine. You get the point. I want Brevin Spanford if we're talking about using the tight ends for extra blocking.
Yeah, that was a good one, girl. That's a sleeper.
Appreciate
For me, it's going to be the quarterback. And because one thing about Dak Prescott, this offensive line, both of these offensive lines have only rendered 6 sacks on the season. They're tied for second, both of them. So some got to give. Somebody gonna give up some sacks. And the quarterback is a big reason why this offensive line hasn't given up as many sacks, is because he's calling his protections, he's sliding guys, he's moving guys. We're gonna get to see, this quarterback has been playing really well. This is going to be a big test for him with reading the field and seeing the protections and seeing what they're doing, especially from a blitzing standpoint. Also, too, with them playing as much man as they do, the ball placement, the accuracy has to be on point. Like Bree mentioned, this is a team that's seeking some turnovers. They haven't gotten them, and I think that they might try to slip him up in some areas. So the quarterback, man, it's a lot on his shoulders this game.
That's a lot on this Cowboys team as a whole this game. Cowboys offense hoping to build on top of what they've put together this entire season. This Cowboys defense, of course, trying to replicate what they did in Week 7. We'll see how it all pans out. But we got another show tomorrow.
We do.
For game day on Friday, 8 a.m. Make sure to be there, be square, because if you're not, that sucks for you. But that's a wrap for today's show. Brianna Aldridge, Kristi Scales, Aisha Morrison, I'm Nicole Hutchison. We'll see y'all back here at 8 a.m.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!